I thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today. Today, I would like us to talk about what is happening in emerging markets, countries that are developing, trying to come out of the struggles, especially after the COVID 19 or there and about during that period. What has been happening is that some countries have even changed their currency, they are tweaking their currency appearances, thinking they can be able to mop up liquidity that is kept in home and other places in order to see whether that money can be used uh, in the running of the economy. Hardly do they realize the problem is not the liquidity that is at home. The problem is the total quantity of money that is within the economy. That's what they need to be wondering, whether that is sufficient or sufficiently circulating within the economy, because that's where the problem is. The problem of poverty, government not getting sufficient resources, elements of corruption, both chronic and endemic corruption, all those come as a result of mismanagement of the monetary policy. It is, you see, if you come, if a father of five, plus himself and his wife, comes home with a loaf of bread, trying to feed seven people, there's going to be a problem. Most probably that loaf of bread is not going to be enough for dinner. So what's going to happen? Some slick ones will try to get the bigger share. Some slick ones will try to get the whole thing. That's pretty much what corruption does. It is not enough for all of us. So, oh well, what would I care? I'll just get the whole thing and don't worry about it, you know? It is the reality on the ground, the natural instinct of humanity. That's what they have done before, and I don't think that that's going to change anytime soon. I'm just saying, it has been even proven that if it is not enough for the seven, some will try to grab it before, even gets to the table with their own personal justifications. That's what corruption is. And that is why we have always insisted the only way you're going to eliminate corruption is by reducing opportunities for corruption, eliminating those the large aspects of the government, eliminating those government departments that we don't need, eliminating those government agencies that we don't need. That reduces opportunities for corruption. It's only fair. It is the reality. It doesn't matter who we put under the anti-corruption. The story is always going to be the same. As long as the national cake is not enough for all of us, and who defines enough? It's a personal view. So you want to eliminate corruption, reduce the size of government. You reduce instances of corruption. You increase the efficiency in the production and distribution and consumption of goods and services. You reduce instances of people being inclined to go to the government for assistance, because by now they'll be depending on themselves. And how do you do that? Through managing the monetary policy. We must invest in understanding and resolving the monetary policy, which pretty much involves the understanding of the concept of the quantity of money within an economy, determining the optimal quantity within an economy that is not too much or too little. How do you determine whether it's too much? By measuring inflation using price indices. How do you know cash is too little? When organizations are facing, you know, when the government is borrowing at those high rates, like 10, 14%, that is too high. It means we do not have sufficient liquidity within our economy. How do we push liquidity into the market? Through government investment in infrastructure. And it has the power and authority to do so. I'll talk about the other aspect the government could use to acquire liquidity and push it into the market to make sure that there's no cash crunch in the economy. Thank you very much for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. My name is John Mutungi and I approve this message.